I'd love to ask what your gift is and how can people get the benefit of it?
That is a great question. My gift is, as an intuitive, I help recalibrate the energy to be able to have you connect with your higher self.
Do you channel? Do you see things? Do you feel things? Do
Yes,
you
I've been a clairvoyant. I do channeling.
So basically when somebody is talking with you, you see or feel information about them, you can tell.
I can see, I can hear, I can taste, I can smell. I have all the senses that are hyper vigilant.
You're getting a story that you need to like give as a message to
I
assist the
immediately
person
connect,
to
yes,
to
with their
see
higher
the.
self. Even
Mhm.
if they're telling me something, I can hear their higher self instantly and know exactly what they need. I've been a medical intuitive for probably the longest period of time, where I could read the body and tell them what is off, and then I could help them regulate and remove as an awareness to them on a deeper level of where the trauma sits in their body. So help them to release it and then
That
come
is
back into.
amazing. When did you acknowledge that you have this?
First time I did a reading, I was 17 years old. It's not the
Mhm.
first time I knew it. I knew when I was 5 and then had a couple of experiences within my family. But the first time I actually did a reading for somebody, I was 17. In New York
On
City.
purpose that, hey, I'm gonna look at you, or
Not even
somebody
on
asked you
purpose.
to.
I had a fabulous woman asked me to come help somebody. I actually asked her to help me get rid of it because I just wanted to be a normal person. I didn't want to see dead people. I didn't want, nobody wanted to hear these messages. You know, a million years ago, it was not as accepted as it is today.
And on top of it, you're the crazy one.
Yes, I was totally the crazy one and came from Sicilian parents where they were like, oh, this is not part of the Catholicism that you know. And so I had to push through a lot of my own barriers to be able to understand that this is a gift. To be able to
Mhm.
go to see somebody who's in so much pain because they've lost a loved one, and to be able to connect that with that loved one and to offer this information that the loved one is coming through and saying, this
You
is
just
what
call in. You call in the loved one,
I call
or
them.
they already
I
show
ask
up.
them for a couple of days before they see me to call them the loved one. I have a couple of different modalities that I'll just do a channeling session, and almost instantly they'll come through. Or I have my own guides and my own
What
uh,
do you feel when it's happening? Do you feel that kind of sense of comfort or knowing or understanding?
whatever they feel. I'm just a conduit for it. And if they're crying, it makes
But
me
you as a
cry.
conduit, what do you sense? It's like not you, or you're feeling an extra
I mean, how do I
line
know
of
it's not me?
story running. Hmm.
Oh, it's my physical body will, I just did a reading for somebody recently and he had something wrong with his neck and the whole reading, and I didn't notice it until after I had, because he had asked me to send him the video, and the whole reading I was like this, and when it was done I was like, oh my God, my neck hurts, and the way my voice changes, like it's literally having them use
You
my
embody
body.
the.
And I only let what's in the light come through. I'm really aware of that. So, and I do
I
ask them
know
for
I know
brief.
exactly what you're talking about. It's just people don't really talk about how they talk about the person or the message, but um, I'd like to emphasize that people who has gifts, how crazy stuff they go through to deliver
Mm,
to deliver their messages to that is like basically really nothing to do with them, but they take this task to assist other people, and I really want to pull off the crazy part of it because it's
yes.
it's something it's treasure. It's not crazy, it's treasure. Just because somebody doesn't have their gift or doesn't understand how it works, it doesn't mean that it's not there and it doesn't work. And that's why I'm asking you to talk about like, and what do you feel when you do the channeling, because it's something that we don't get
I feel
conditioned. You have to
purity.
go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel I've learned to completely take myself out of the way and just ask spirit to speak through me, and it's instant now. Before I would actually find myself to be nervous because I realized this is not something I can control. And, I recently had somebody where he was coming through and he said, my teeth are in the refrigerator. My teeth, and I'm thinking to myself, there is no way I'm saying, you know what I mean? Because I was like, oh my God, that sounds so crazy. And he kept saying it. And I was watching myself stop myself. And I was like, you know what? Okay. And I said, well, he's really concerned about his teeth in the refrigerator. And they all like, he was the biggest thing was that he didn't want anybody to know he had false teeth.
Yeah, the
And the
verification.
wife
Yeah, I
had,
have that too. That to me, so
yes,
the thing is that you have sensations that has no meaning to you
nothing.
whatsoever, but it has all the meaning to the person that
Yes,
it's been delivered. And it's like also sometimes I also like argue with the spirit that show me something that you really that I don't want to just
yes,
I don't want to confuse this person here and blah blah. And it's like no, trust the process. And then they tell me things that is like trivial to me, but it's like or
it's big.
doesn't
It's
have a
how
meaning
they
and it's
know you're actually
yeah,
connecting with, because there's no way I would have known his teeth were in the refrigerator.
yeah.
And as soon
And
as that
the
happened, their defenses come down, because there's a lot of people out there that talk about what they can do. And so I love
yeah,
that you're bringing this up. And I love that, we're at that point in our life where there's so much, and even from the star beings, there are the people that are not in physical form or weren't in physical form, to be able to get those messages, to be able to hear them. They're all amongst us, and we have so much information, and they get so much to
yeah. And there
teach
are
us.
so much different systems that like that is way beyond the human quality or understanding, but like a different system that you can understand and then you can integrate with the principles of a human quality. And it's just crazy that people start arguing if it exists or not instead of take a look at that
Yes.
information. I usually don't really. I got to the point where I don't care if it's a pink flamingo or a velociraptor or an alien looking being or whatever shows up, but I just pay attention to that information because it might show up in a certain form that I can perceive it, or maybe it is its own form. It doesn't matter to me. The information matters that what it can, how can I integrate that information in my daily life to turn it into practical evolvement physically, mentally, and in the soul and the whole thing. Because otherwise it's just a good story.
Right. Right. How can this,
Unless
what will this do for my life? I
unless
think,
yes, unless I can integrate it, it's just a good story, which has it's all good.
and
But
sometimes it's
me,
not
I love
instant.
to do practice. I love to do magic. I love to turn things around and make even better things. There is always more into everything. And
It's
if I
about
stop and
learning.
start
It's about
thinking if it's
evolving.
pink flamingo telling me something, if I start arguing with that,
No, I no longer
no,
do that. I just say, come through me, speak whatever needs to be spoken. And I always go to it and say, let the soul of the higher self come
highest
through
and greatest
this
good.
person,
Yeah.
whatever's for the best, for the good of all and the harm of none. And it's like instantaneous. And I mean, I
Yes.
have people that I work with that have multi-million-dollar businesses that they want to know, should I make this decision? Should I make this decision? And I'm like, well, I can channel your higher self, but I really want to teach you how to do this so that you have these tools yourself.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you even I usually bring them to travel within and without and all over, and they got so mesmerized of the sensations and the informations that they gathered that they forget to bring it in.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
when you're out there, when you're on the different frequency, you understand everything and it doesn't seem important what you actually came here for.
Right.
So I also need to remind people that when they are in the different state of mind, have it in mind that I'm going to teach my human. I'm going to teach the human mind of me to understand this. So I anchor those energies those
I love that.
informations and bring it back with me. And then
So
I want to see
important.
how it works when I do my daily life. How can I use it in every aspect possible? And that's an awesome game. That it's an awesome,
Oh, I
and
love how
those are
clear you are.
challenge. These are challenges. So it's like people think that when things getting better, that it means that everything is like happy and you know, ha ha ha, and it's boring. No, it
No,
has
life isn't meant to
crazy
be just a
challenges,
joy.
but you don't have to suck.
No, I
Um,
love that. Like people on this journey think that we're meant to be here to experience joy. No, we're actually, this is school. We're meant to be here to have challenges. And the minute we see a challenge, if we can stop, integrate that feeling that's coming and know like connect with ourselves, like Kurt was saying, to slow down enough to know where it is and what it, and ask the right questions and then to integrate it into our lives, the challenge is over. You instantly know it's done. It goes away. You no
yeah,
longer have to trust and everything will start to align. I love
yeah, and
that.
like these hard challenges, you still you know that it's hard, and you probably get freaked out of it, but you still have that feeling that you want to try it, that it excites you to
So you
try it,
have that
and you freak
wonder.
out,
That's
and
how
you
you
freak, but you
manifest.
exactly, yeah.
You have a gift of wonder. You have a gift that says, I not see, you have a gift of trust. So see that the way you can, and
We
I
all
tell
have
everybody
trust.
this,
It's just we put our trust into lack,
and
or you have
that's
the
right.
trust. You
What are
just
you
need to change.
trusting?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
and
all
you
have
have a
trust.
gift
We
of
all have
wonder.
abundance. You just have a definition, a wrong definition linked with it.
Yes, it's attached to the wrong thing. Like you're able to manifest instantaneously because you have a gift of wonder. You see, so it's one of the a child where we grow up and somebody tells us, no, that's be realistic, or that's not really going to happen, or don't want you to get your hopes up. We have all our parents that come to us and say, well, just diminish your dreams, just dampen your feelings. Except if we can come back to childlike wonder and joy and excitement about what we're doing. And if we don't have that
Curiosity,
excitement,
yeah,
get out, stop what you're doing, pivot,
yeah.
restructure,
Wrap
and
it
go
up,
on.
go home.
Yes, it's done.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And your joy and your wonder gets you instantaneous results. So that's 100. I love that. And I love that you're wanting to change the mainstream of like how people see this, because it could be so instrumental in helping people. I've started to do, I've been doing QHHT, which is like a form of hypnosis, which is a very light form. And I could actually, because I'm an intuitive, I can actually see what they're seeing. So I
Yeah,
can,
me too. Yeah,
right?
me
I
too.
can
I know
anchor
exactly what you.
them and then have that and repeat it back to them.
I'm a skeptic myself, so one is enough in the room. Period. And it always and
Why
so
are you a
and
skeptic?
because of that, I rephrase. I always give the benefit of the doubt that there might be information that I'm not aware of.
Mm,
So for that moment, I'm asking the the purest connection for the greatest and highest good that needs to be brought through,
yes.
even if I don't understand. And there are systems sometimes that I get introduced to that is um, completely different than the previous one.
Hmm.
And then I have to observe the whole thing and embody it, not trust it, embody it to understand it, to be able to bring it through. Uh, so I had to learn to question and not question the same paradox. I love paradox. Question and not question the same time, to verify that whatever happens, it goes both ways. It goes for that person that we work with and me as well.
Hmm.
So I cannot just say like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I can just like show you the blah, blah, blah. Do I see it right? Like, do you see that? Do you feel that? Yes, yes, it looks like this. Is it this color? Yeah. Okay, okay. So let's continue, so that we're not going on different path, but we sense the same thing. And then, like I mentioned, that your left shoulder has a pressure right now, and you tell me the other part that I feel. So I have the feedback that I'm, because I
A
don't
lot.
want to put the
Yeah.
words in their mouth or their mind.
Yes.
So I usually phrase it in a way that um it's like we open the envelope after type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, because
But
I
part
want to
of that
make
is
sure.
your
I want to make sure.
Arcturian side. You're fed a lot of information from Arcturians. You're very clear, but part of that, their doubt in the human mind comes from that. Because it's a very particular type of energy that says one, it's not always it's not hyper emotional, and it's very logical and factual. So that's like a constant thing for you to, and you have 2 or 3 different energy sources that comes through you that speak through you. All of them are of the light.
I don't doubt it. That's why I said I rephrase.
Yeah.
Uh,
Don't even look for
I'm
feedback.
I'm going with what's the most relevant at that moment, and I'm not questioning it at that moment. But I
Good.
asked for a type of feedback that the message that I get, and it was like a long time ago that I said like, okay, if I got the message right, then I'd
You
like
should
to
keep
have a
doing it.
feedback. And then it just
Yes.
keeps happening. So I'm way over that questioning. Like I started to do like way crazier stuff that like lately it came through Hawaiian because I told Kurt that it would be so cool to make sure that I get exactly what the message is, and I don't know how to do that. And later that day, it started to came through in Hawaiian, so I literally had to type it in, what it means, and then I was talking that the answer always came in Hawaiian, and I had to freaking type it in and then read the answer. And I was like, oh, that's genius because I cannot make up a language.
Funny, as you were saying that just before, I was like, it's not just Arcturian, it's Lemurian. It's Lemurian, which is a very clear. There's a type of crystal you have around you. I don't know if it's in your room. It's like almost a peach color, very light. And it feeds you. It's like a direct feed of energy. It's a
There was
crystal.
there was a rose quartz that I got in Arizona. It came through a portal and then it disappeared. It was with
Oh,
me somewhere here, but it disappeared. But that has such a strong, and I can still feel it. So it's maybe it's somewhere here when we moved here, but I haven't seen it for years now. And that thing, that thing could affect other crystals around it. When I
the
had a
cleansing effect.
and but I have that frequency. I know that frequency because I've been there at the portal. I had a communication with it, and this crystal is also got imprinted with that frequency. But I don't need the crystal to have that frequency
No,
to
no,
yeah,
that was an opening for you.
yeah.
That was an opening for you. And then the crystals, they come and they go. As we meet people, we hand them to them, we give them away. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And it's, part of, I love that we're getting to a point in our lives that we're able to understand that source and the consciousness that we choose to be here. We may come in a low consciousness, and we have the ability to keep asking for things and seeing, oh, that's that. I finished that lesson. I finished that lesson. I finished that lesson. So consciously, if you can continue to expand your vibration
Yeah,
changes,
because there is no manual for people
there's
for
not,
us. Let's say
there's
that
not.
there is no manual. So how do you learn what you learn, and how do you know that you learned that exact thing? And yeah, to go with it. It doesn't even have to do anything with trust really, because it's kind of
Well,
there.
see,
You
I
just go
think
with
that
it.
you have to be able to trust yourself.
Feeling when I'm doing any kind of channeling, I feel way much more comfortable than when I just do my daily life, which I'm very comfortable with. But
Yeah, I agree. It's easier for me to be in that space than this one. I mean, meaning I'm very comfortable here right now, but in reality, my work elevates my vibration and my
yeah,
frequency tremendously. And
yeah,
it's one of the reasons why I stick with it, and in every day, and it gets deeper and deeper. I was working with this woman this week that has a type of bacteria that has been told she has Lyme's disease for a long period of time, and she can't find it. She can't find it. And it took me, and I had to go. I wasn't just an intuitive hit. Like I knew I had to go online and research it, look at the blood, cross-reference, and I was like, and I found this one, and I was like, that's what she has. And instantly it was like, okay, this is how she heals. This is what she needs. And it was like, and it took me a week to be able to
does it
find
have
that.
to do with a stranger, an idea that's stranger to her that she took in?
I think sometimes what happens, and this is on a physical level, is that we create um a lower frequency in our body by feeling exhausted, tired, and needing the rest. So we allow, so our frequency lowers enough for us to get that
So it's an
particular
excuse.
thing. It's a need for us now because we're not honoring our bodies, and we become ill or we become tired, and there it opens up this portal for illness to come in because we're not taking care of ourselves.
Okay, I'd love to have a video on that energetically and physically how it merges, because I started to notice things that people creating different illnesses for excuse to not to be themselves, and depending on what they use, you can also pinpoint what it is that
Yeah, because a lot of people didn't get their needs met as children, and so, or in their marriage, or as a mother, or as a worker. So they just said, I can't anymore. My body can't. My body can't. So they create this need for this instead of just honoring themselves, which again comes back to, like, I
they
still
just believe what the parents said, because if the parents say you can't, then you try to fulfill that idea, as long as you don't go like, hey, wait a second, I'm not doing this anymore.
or you take accountability for it and say, I don't want to be sick. Thank you so much for whatever you needed to show me, but I'm taking this back. I'm taking my life back, and instantaneously you can cure yourself. I've cured myself
Yeah.
of cancer. I've cured myself of all these different ailments. And I was like,
Okay,
oh, wow.
we gotta make another video on
Okay,
just
let's
those
make another
things.
video.
I love it.
I would love to be able to do this again. That'd be awesome. Yeah, because I love you guys. And I think since the day I met you, Ava, I'm like, somehow you've been on my radar, and it's very, very warm in here. Oh my God. And
Oh,
yeah, I've been wanting
it's
to
muggy too.
hot
Super
today.
muggy.
It's just
Yeah,
muggy, right? And it's
it's like Kona weather, just the humidity.
yeah, yeah, not
I
good.
love it. People that go like this, I love it.
I
Once we
love
just
it.
go to
I'm
just jump in the ocean right there.
yes.
No, because actually now it's dangerous with the bacteria and stuff that the rain brought in. I mean, the stuff that went into the ocean from the land, and I
Is it
wouldn't go in
brown?
there now.
Oh, you got a lot of runoff.
Almost black brown. Ugh.
Ooh,
Oh, yuck.
Yeah,
I'm
you don't
amazed
want
at
to
how
swim
many
in
people
that.
go in that. No, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, there you go. So there's a perfect way a bacteria can enter into our body. You're not looking, you're not listening. There's a clear sign that says this is not good, but you do it anyway because you think that you can. So listen to that's you trusting yourself, saying, I don't want to do that. It's not, and I wanted to go to the beach the last couple of days, and I was like, nope, it's not time for you to go to the beach. It's time for you to do this. And now I know why. At least the weather is funky, but it's also the emotional pattern that goes with, what's happening right now. Anyway, there's so many more videos to do
awesome.
yeah. I like that background, Kurt. Looks good there.
Yeah, thanks. Like thanks to you, just changed orientation, right?
It's
So
huge. Yeah.
instead of
Yeah,
that,
that's too much.
so
That washes
just
you out. This
this,
is actually perfect. Your coloring looks better. It's perfect.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the
I still
light,
need to figure out how to hide the. But we are
the glare,
authentic, right?
No,
the,
because it looks like you're in nature. It's beautiful.
I am.
You are, I know.
I
And
have
mom.
my real fake chameleon here too that I made.
Oh, you
she
But
made
made
see,
that?
that. She made
yeah.
that.
Oh my God, that's great. Wow, how
Like,
creative.
mommy, look what I did, and this. Wait.
Oh, it's beautiful. Look
And
at that.
this was a driftwood.
Wow, you
What?
carved that?
This was a driftwood, and I carved it because I saw the whale in it. I still have
Uh-huh.
the photo of how it looked, and then I added this epoxy clay thing to the parts that were not like obvious.
It's
And
amazing. I was thinking
you
about
know,
taking out beads and making a bracelet. Now I feel embarrassed. Oh my God, that's awesome. I love
and
it.
I cannot sculpt. That's a different video, but I since I started to do this quantum jumping thing,
Uh-huh.
And it's like when you embody a version of you that already did it, that was, I don't know, dedicated its life to do that kind of stuff, like music or sculpting or ballet or whatnot, or anything. And then you embody that energetic pattern and you bring it in, and then when you start doing things, it
It's
will come
fast.
to you way faster.
As
And
That's
because
the
you have,
key. Letting those, this is what I heard 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I was walking on the beach and I heard, if we can take all the information and allow it to come into this, whatever, you know, segment of your reality you're in, because I believe we live different lives at the same time. If we can bring that in and integrate it into the body that we are aware of at the time, we will then compress it and then move forward and move forward and move forward and be done with this physical
yeah, and
existence.
the system is that you don't need to remember things. You can access them at any time and
But
any
you have to
version and
allow it
any,
as an
you
awareness. You
have to
have
be
to,
aware that it can be done and
yes,
then
you have to
allow it.
acknowledge it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I know that. Like, I know things that I could never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's because
And it's
I
not just
I
your lives, it can be anyone's life, because we all one, we all linked.
right.
You can
Right.
bring in energetic patterns and formulas and principles
Yes,
of
imprints.
that. That's why there are so many Cleopatras, as
Right.
turns out, because like everybody say, oh, I was Cleopatra in my previous life. It happened, it's happening the same time.
It's
So
an
actually
imprint.
Cleopatra exists right now. There is no such a thing as like present and past, and like, yeah, we know that. But the thing is that if you need something for the current incarnation that you're doing, or the current moment,
Yes.
I would say that the current moment, you need certain energetic formula that you can use for the benefit of the current character that you're working on, or the energetic patterns that you're evolving. Then you can bring in any information that you
Yes.
need for that moment. You have access to any of it. You don't have to remember books and things because it's irrelevant. It was a different reality a moment ago.
Hmm.
So like, even
Mm.
just that one situation has infinite outcomes, and depending on your frequency and the frequency that you're working on or timeline that you're working on, and the different realities and outcomes of that timeline, you can access. So it's like so big. So it's like, yeah, it's infinite.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love that.
Therefore, you don't need to know everything because it would be overwhelming. You just need
It's
to know that for that
accepting. Yes.
moment, for that one moment, what you can integrate that adds to the
Hmm.
character that you're
Hmm.
experiencing, that the timeline of, and it's changing every freaking moment. That's why when somebody brings up that, oh, you remember when we went there and you did this, and it's like, you have no freaking clue what it was, and they have such a vivid memory and
Yes.
you have no clue, and it's like a different person because it is a different person of you, and it's
Hmm.
not you. And then when you switch these realities to this different type of earth, you have a different past and a different future for that moment, and then for the next moment and for the next moment. And when people holding on to their illnesses, it's not their illness, it's the person that it happened with. And the moment you realize it, it can be gone, it can be switched, because it's not you, and you're trying to fix someone else's story, and it keeps coming up lately all the time. It is not your story.
I would love to do more on that about how to identify.
We could, how
Yeah.
about like we could go into the channel together, and what comes out of that. I'm very curious of that.
Okay.
Sometimes I
Whoa.
do that with channels, and because your unique frequency and my unique frequency, when it adds together
I love that.
with the same intention, uh we can see things from different perspectives, and maybe it's the same thing, and maybe we get the same meaning and everything from our different point of view, but it goes and dials down into the same one, or it's the same one but we can see different aspects. It's very interesting how it can come out what like
I'd love to do
let's
that.
let's pick a topic and do some crazy magic stuff that what comes through. I learned so much when I work with someone. I learn so much, and when we go together, that we both have these gifts, and what adds together, it's so awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, sign me up.
Wow. I want to be there for that.
You're
Oh
definitely,
yeah,
yeah, definitely. Because we all have our own individual gifts,
yeah.
and I mean, Kurt continues to amaze me with his ability to see and even your knowledge of the body. It's so beyond any human's ability to understand. When you're going into the body, you're seeing things on an intuitive level.
Mm.
You really are. And I think that you credit yourself for having a lot of education and other masters, but I feel like everything that you do is an awareness or a type of consciousness that allows you to go into that space.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, I hold such regard for everybody in my life that's working with their each individual and unique gifts and what we can bring together to this world.
That's what we're doing.
Yay, I love it.
We're about
Because
sharing.
Kurt has a gift of keeping space, a very calm space,
Yes.
with the type of observation that he's doing without the judgment. So whoever comes into his space can experience themselves comfortably.
Yeah.
I
So
like what you
Kurt,
said.
yeah, whatever gift you have, it's a huge gift. It's not too many people can do that, I think.
No.
I like what you said about when you were a massage student. Like with your experience with different instructors.
Yeah, and when you
And
came into the room, I wasn't even looking, and I felt that you came into the room because I just out of the sun I felt, and I knew that it's coming from someone and not just me. The 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 main feeling was that this class would mean something to me, and I was already interested in it, and you didn't even say a word
mm,
It's
because
a
you
true
carried that
knowing.
impulse. You're carrying that energy that you were talking about earlier in one of the episodes, that everybody has their unique frequency, like a fingerprint, that it's there no matter what they're going through, no matter what's happening, they are happy,
mm.
sad, whatever, it's always there.
It's like a Zen
That's what,
master. He has
yeah,
the
and that's why
imprint of
people
Zen
say to
master.
you that you're not you, because they feel that main essence fingerprint, and that's why even if they don't really know you, it's not you.
Mm.
That's huge. You going back to Hungary?
I'm going to Hungary. Yeah, I think I'm also gonna film some horse archery stuff, but from the aspect of going there to get peace in that environment that is so different than I am, because it's like very strict there. They're all like soldiery. But when I connect with the horse and me and the arrow and the target, it's like I target my inner peace. I target my understanding. I target my stillness, my
You have to,
flow.
or else the horse will react to you, right?
Oh yeah, it's so funny because the people there, who's the students, they're like so um stressed because they want to prove to the master. They get yelled at. They have to talk about their day, what they messed up, what they were good at, and then they get like shit about, like, you didn't pay attention, you didn't practice enough, rah, 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 and they was sitting there and just like, that's not right. It's so not right. And it couldn't get me anymore because I grew up like that, and I always felt frustrated that I did something wrong or I could have done it
Mhm.
better. I keep putting myself into these challenges to, if I have a statement about myself, to see if it's really aligned with what I think I would do or I would react.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm not going into self-harming, not like that, but it's like sometimes it's challenges that can cause you trauma. And I purposefully want to put myself into a situation that is so not me and target my peace through
Mhm.
through the war that
Moving
goes
out of your
around there.
comfort zones.
because it's easy to be comfortable in a place that is comfortable for you, but be comfortable in a place that is like exactly that, the opposite of that.
Hmm.
I like that.
That I have an idea how I think about something, and it's like, really? Let's see. So when I had like phobia of like corpses and I was afraid, and it's like, what the heck is wrong with me? I never even seen one, and then always just had this weird feeling of like somebody's coming out from the closet or from under the bed, or when I swim in the lake, then the corpse will just come up, or like, what the heck is going on? And so I made myself go to the pathology. I accidentally made a friend that he's working at the morgue. I was like, man, I need to I have a phobia, I guess. I need to face what I'm so afraid of. I need to see it. And I was so sure that the very moment that like the sheet comes off, I will faint. I was so sure. And I went there, and it was the morgue of the clinic. So it was the pathology department that is linked with the university, the medical university. So I step in, and there was not just one table, but six, with
Oh,
6 corpses, with 20 some medical students, with like 3-4 doctors. And so my initial moment of sheet off didn't never even happen because there was no sheet. So I didn't
Oh,
faint. And then one of the doctors said, okay, come here. So, and then he opened someone right in front of me, and it was so interesting that I forgot to faint. And then I realized that I'm not afraid of corpses, but what is it that I was afraid of? And it was probably something that is like low vibrational, and I cannot control it. The feeling of not being able to control what's happening.
mm.
And actually, that was the theme of my life, that I didn't feel that I can control it, and then it kind of came
Hmm.
up.
So you're ready for the zombie apocalypse then?
Oh man, I have no problem, because I got to the point when the anatomy building needed help, and then they came, hey, well, can you come help us? And then I had to like um they were making skeletons for the university, and so I had to take off the meat of a person, like from top to bottom. So over there, all my phobias went away.
Oh God, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not
Because
afraid
you
of
realize that
any
there's
of it.
nothing attached anymore. It's just a physical suit. It's a thing. It's pushing yourself out of your, and to know that
Yeah,
those are limitations somewhere. Have an amazing time.
you
And
too.
when you get back, I look forward to connecting with you again.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Good.
Cool.
love
Thank
it.
you.
Okay. See you later.
Okay, have some
Bye.
more coffee.